The artist's brain is an independent variable. When brought into the everyday world, their senses find meaning in even the most mundane observations. The reaction must only be told by the artists themselves. I'm Loverboy, and this is an experiment. Today's guest is a producer and a songwriter who is absolutely taking over the industry in both America and internationally, with huge success on his artist project and now a #1 selling album in Korea. He is soon to be a household name, and no one loves Pink more than this man. Please welcome today's guest, Pink Slip.
Wow, bro. Thank you for that.
How are you, man?
Good, bro. So good.
Thank you for having me by your studio. This place is absolutely killer.
Thank you so much for coming.
Always.
The last time we saw each other was at my old spot.
Yeah. It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, it's crazy how time flies. When you just walked in, I'm like, dude, I haven't seen you since 2019.
It's unbelievable.
Isn't it crazy?
And we've kept in touch.
Yeah.
It's a hard city to be with people as much as you'd like, but it's a great city to meet people and stay connected and make friends.
Well, it's crazy just to be, there's like 10 million people here.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can meet someone new every single day for how many years goes into 10 million, but...
Too much math.
It's way too much.
Dude, yeah, and that's the whole point of this podcast is I want people to realize is everybody walking by you is either an opportunity to grow or an opportunity to learn something new or get better at what you do, your art. So with that, today's episode is about how the people you surround yourself with, affect your art and the way you go about your life. And you surround yourself with a lot of incredible people. How would you say that over the past few years of being in LA, those people have affected the way that you do your music?
Bro, I'm so lucky. Like, all my friends are so talented and so giving and cool. And it's like the way that I make music these days is only with friends and with collaborators. Like, I started making music in my parents' basement when I was, 12. And I didn't know anybody else who made music. I had friends at the time, but none of them made music. So it went from, years of making music by myself and growing as a producer and writer and becoming in a position where every single day someone new is over here. And every day, it's like different walks of life. It's like, I have friends from like local Los Angeles friends or people from all around the world come in, producers, songwriters, videographers, stylists, artists. I'm looking at the wall. Trumpet players. Yesterday, I had a steel drum player in here the other day, like
unbelievable
shredding. So, it's like I feel like the environment that you create for yourself to make music or make any art is important, and it's very important. Like the physical surrounding, you want to be comfortable and inspired, but even more important than that is the people that are with you. So like, I would rather make music in a garage with no AC and some crappy speakers that barely work or whatever with my best friends because the vibe's great than be in some spaceship studio that costs $1 million and people that we don't connect with. Who you're around is everything,
And did you always know that? Or would you say it's taken, opportunities like this in order to figure that out?
I think every day that goes by, I realize how important it is. Because every day that goes by, I realize how much I learn from other people, Like, I went from making music just by myself for so long that now that I'm lucky enough to have all these talented people around me, like I literally can't believe like how talented everyone is and how much I absorb from, you know what I mean?
Does it change the way you go about making your music?
Oh, for sure. Because like I was saying, like every day someone new's in. So if any day I'm not as inspired as I could be, someone with new energy is coming in, and it's like the amount of like variables and randomness that's added by new people coming in and out is... There's never going to be a day where we're not going to make something awesome.
And it's never going to be boring.
It's never going to be boring.
Would you say that a lot of the genres that you're working on now are because of the people you're working with?
Oh, totally. Like in about an hour, there's an artist named Death by Roman coming through. Super cool, up-and-coming artist. She's putting out a single in like a month that we did together. And the single is the first day we met, like 6 months ago. She comes through with this like energy where she's got like covered in tattoos. Like she got this like gothic energy. She listens like heavy metal, punk, like just scary, crazy stuff. And I'm just a dude. Like I'm not wearing like, she comes in with like crazy face paint and like nails that are like 6 inches long and like like just all black, insane. And I'm like, I might not listen to punk music or make much metal music, But she comes in and she's telling me about the music that inspires her. And that day we made a crazy metal song. And I would have never done that. We're about to go probably do the same thing or something similar today, right? But then yesterday, my friend Mikey's in, and he's like a folk artist. Mikey Ferrari's got a song we did together coming out soon, and he's, he comes with this energy where he wants to keep it stripped back, acoustic guitar, whatever. Like, I don't even play acoustic guitar, but I'm like, cool. It's like, if that's gonna inspire you, then let's combine your inspiration with whatever I do or whatever everyone else can do. So, yeah, I mean that's how I like making music, where it's just like different people come in and kind of spark off things that you would never think of,
When you started as an artist, would you say that these opportunities and getting to be around all these people is what's made you want to work with more people and become the producer?
Definitely. Because when I was working on my artist project as Pink Slip, I felt like in a box in such a way where I can only, I set a brand and whatever you have to as an artist. And I just felt so constricted with what tempo or style or whatever. Now since I've stopped working my artist project and I just produce for others, I've made like jazz and Latin music and metal and EDM and pop and hip hop. And it's just like, I could never put out a jazz song or a hip. I can never explore. There's like uncharted waters. And I always feel like when creating, as soon as you do something or start something that you've done before, give up, because you're not going to be inspired for the next step. The most inspiring moments in the creation process, the most exciting parts, at least for me, is like the moments that you feel like you've never been there before. Like you're just in totally uncharted waters and you're up into the water, like literally into like you can barely, you're like in the deep end. You have no idea where you are. And sometimes you just kind of black out and you come out a few hours later like, what the hell just happened? And you have this amazing song that would have never happened. It's just like,
it's addicting.
It's literally addicting.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling when you do something that you didn't know that you could do prior.
Yeah.
And especially with somebody who you never worked with, who you've never had this experience with. The whole entire situation relies on you being able to connect with somebody and hoping that they can connect with you as well, and exchange that energy and the musical talents and the musical inspiration. Who are some of your inspirations?
Wow. I grew up listening to a lot of music. Before I made music, I just was a big listener. Now I make more than I listen to.
Yeah.
But I grew up listening to a lot of new school and old school. So at the time, and still up to this day, Kanye is probably one of my biggest inspirations. But if you go back in time, 10 years before that, maybe Red Hot Chili Peppers, you could say was one of my biggest.
Oh, yeah.
If you go 10 years before that into the 80s, maybe Michael Jackson. You go 10 years before that into the 70s. I was about to say the Beatles or I was about to say Motown stuff. That's more 60s. But I take inspiration from a lot. And I find recently that the inspiration I have to pull is because it has to be more and more eclectic, because I don't get off as a listener.
Yeah.
Just listening to a lot of normal music, because I make so much music. It has to be more extreme for me to be able to be inspired by things. But I get inspired outside of music too. I'll go to museums or go look at architecture and go drive around, or go on hikes in the hills. And people outside of music inspire me, just going out and going to a party and hearing stories about someone's life or what the relationship or blah, blah, blah. And I come back and I write a song about it. And
when you were just saying before the conversation how there's so many people here that you can run into somebody new 10 times a day, every day you live here.
You run into you can meet 1,000 people a day here for your whole life. It's not, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
And there's nowhere else you can do that.
Yeah.
At least here you can throw a stone and there's going to be somebody that has creative energy that you could use.
Yeah.
Or a story that you could listen to and gain inspiration from. What situations have you put yourself in since being out in LA where you feel like you've kind of been in an uncomfortable situation and dug your way out of it?
Well, I find that the more time I've spent here and the more time I've made music with new people, as in doing new sessions every day, the easier it is to acclimate and kind of be comfortable. Mm-hmm. But moving here was hard because every day it's a new day and I don't know, do they like me? Do they not like me? Are we making good music? It's very vulnerable to meet new people and just immediately start creating art with them and be open. I feel like the more I've done it, the less I felt that way, and it just becomes more and more natural.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of specific situations where I have been uncomfortable.
Well, it could even just be sessions.
Yeah, just
you were talking about with the girl who came in, where it was a very different energy and vibe than you have ever worked with.
Yeah.
And for the kid out there who's listening who wants to be in your position, in Pink Slip's position one day, go do it. Go fucking just do it as many times as you can. Like he's telling you guys right now, sometimes you got to keep going through it in order for it to start feeling comfortable.
I think that's what's most important, right? Just keep doing it. And there's a really kind of magical thing about making music when you're absolutely comfortable with someone. Like you can be like naked in front of somebody in a way creatively and not be judged whatsoever. And I've tried to, outside of the people here with, we're coming kind of back to the environment, I've tried to make this studio as, I guess, comfortable as possible where like, even, the part of town we're in is like very secluded. We're like in Hollywood Hills and Beechwood Canyon and it's like peaceful, it's quiet, it's nice. Even the park here, you have to go through one gate to enter the front yard, then you have to go through another gate to enter the living room, and you have to go through another door to go through into the studio. It's like, and it's like, I've always kind of looked at that as being like, there's kind of like 3 walls of like any outside force. You know what I mean? Like, totally. There's like a sense of like, there's like 3 blankets around any artist that comes through here that know they're just like comfortable. And I just feel like that's already such a good first step. And then just having like, just like organically, just like getting to know someone before you make music is just like, so it's just makes everyone just like more at home and at ease and makes things easy,
Well, from my experience, one of your talents, I mean, obviously you were an incredible musician and producer, but one of your talents is having the ability to have somebody feel comfortable when they step in the room. And that's, as a producer, that's massive. That's, if not that, that's possibly the most important part. Dude,
and that's how I look about with what I do is what I can't do. It's like, I'm the type of producer where like I'm not actually great at anything. Like I have all these instruments in here. Like I could play some, but I'm not like shredding. Like as a writer, like I write some, but I'm not a wordsmith. As a singer, like I can't sing. Like I can't even hold a tune. Like as a mixer, like I'm not like the best mixer. Like I'm really not that great at anything. I'm like okay at just enough to put songs together. Totally. But I think what's amazing about collaborating is that I have friends that are like incredibly talented. What they do is like so talented, I almost can't even believe that they're that good. Like I might have an idea for a guitar part and I'm not going to execute it as well as my guitarist friends. Like my homie Drew DeCaro or Kyle come through and I'm like, yo, and there's the shredders and they one take the entire song. Or like, I might not have the sonic expertise to mix a song like Rob can, but I can be like, yo, Rob, let's work on this song together. So like the other day we had like 8 people in here. Like,
incredible.
And everyone's so specialized in what they do where it's like, oh, Amelia, you're the melody singer. Like, oh, Lucas, you're the keys player. Dylan, you're the guitar player. Anthony, you're like the lyricist. And it's like this, it was like built a team out. So I guess with what I do, it's like, I'm not actually, if you were looking at it as a team, I'm not really that athletic and not that creative at any like position. But if you're looking at like a basketball team, for example, I might like be a better coach than an actual player on the court.
You're a producer.
Yeah. I'll let the artist and the musician and everyone, they'll be the players and they're the athletes. And I just help people get communicate their ideas out of the speakers or whatever they want. You know what I mean?
So how would you guide somebody who wants to be where you're at to start going into positions where they can work with people and they can get better at what they do?
Well, I would say just don't be shy. If you're making music and you want to start collaborating more, a manager friend of mine told me a few years ago, closed mouths don't get fed, which always resonated with me. Like if you want to go work with people and you want to meet new friends and collaborate, like tell someone or tell everybody, hey, I want to do. I remember reaching out when I was like 18 on SoundCloud, putting up remixes and everything, and I would send the remix to 100 producers that I wanted to work with, and then 50 of them might open it, and then 25 of them may respond, and out of those, half of those people may even continue a conversation, and so you narrow it down, and like maybe out of 100 people you reach out to, maybe only one person is even interested in being a friend or working.
And that's all it takes sometimes.
That's all it takes, right?
This stuff takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But if you love it enough that this is what you're going to do for your life and you're going to surround yourself with the correct people to push you, you might be sitting in the same chair as Pink Slip one day.
That's it. And it's really is 10,000 hours too, isn't it? You can't cheat that.
No. And
you can never cheat that.
Well, Kyle, this has been absolutely incredible, and I'm so happy to have you on the podcast. And I think there's a lot of people who can learn from you and hopefully be in a position that you're at one day.
Well, thank you so much for having me, brother.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. And
Cheers.
to everybody listening.
Hey, I'm Pink Slip, and this is an experiment.
The experience is the experiment.